All right. Well, good evening. Good to be here with you all, and wonderful to be here at the New Mercies Center here. I am Carolyn Bourdeax, the Congresswoman from Georgia's 7th District, and we wanted to convene folks to have a discussion about economic development in Southern Gwinnett. And this really came out of a conversation that I had with Pastor Kearney, and he raised this issue for me several times over the years, that we see a lot of development in Gwinnett. It's moving up I-85, it's coming out 316, but down here we're not sort of seeing the vision or the plan. And as I've gone around the community and just been meeting with lots of folks, I've met with lots of people who have different plans, but for different parts of the area. And so what I thought we would do as a start here is convene some folks. People in the community, the New Mercies Church, some of those folks, some of our elected officials, and just get a feel for what some of the ideas are. And it's also a chance to take some questions at the end to start to develop what the vision is going to be in the future, or where you have concerns about what needs to happen next. And honestly, I'm really looking forward to it because it's a chance for me to be briefed on what's happening in this part of Gwinnett and to understand what some of the issues are. So I'm a member of the Small Business Committee. And so one of the key things I've really been working on over time here is trying to make sure that we are supporting our small businesses. And we have a very vibrant minority, women-owned business community in this area, and lots of small businesses. And so how do we make sure they flourish? So something very important to me. I've also worked a lot on infrastructure. And what I've learned as I have been talking with people in the communities, we have some issues with infrastructure here that create some of the barriers to economic development. So hearing about that is also going to be very important. I also have introduced legislation, again, as I've talked to people in the community, to redevelop our malls, our abandoned malls. And we have those all around the inner suburbs, and what happens is mall developers, they build the malls, and then they build another mall further out, and that kills the inner city mall, and then, or the inner suburb mall is really where we are, and then, they keep building out, and they keep dying, and we need to reuse that space effectively. And so I have legislation to help people with that redevelopment, help with the financing of that redevelopment, to provide incentives for developers to come in and redevelop our malls. So that's something we're working on, and right now in Gwinnett Place Mall, there is a great effort to solicit community input in what people want there. And I know I've already heard from some of you all about affordable housing. One of the things we want to provide incentives for is to develop affordable housing in those kinds of places, so that we have mixed-use communities where you can live, work, play, and it also is a place where, average people can afford a home. We have a real crisis in Gwinnett with that right now. There are just no homes that are available for less than $200,000 anymore. And, people who need a starter home, and our teachers, and the people who work in the grocery stores, and people like that, they can't afford the houses that are around here right now. So that's part of the vision of what we're working towards. I want to end, there's lots and lots of initiatives, but I want to turn it over to the main presenters rather than talking myself too much. But I want to end with mentioning that we are going to have a jobs fair on March 23rd. Another big thing we hear from the community is that a lot of employers need people to work, and then there are people who are looking for work, and we want to bring those two sides together. So on March 23rd from 1 to 4 o'clock at the fairgrounds in South Gwinnett, we are going to be having a jobs fair. Right now we already have 43 employers signed up. We expect there'll be more, and over 1,700 job openings. So, and these are good jobs, the county governments with local manufacturers. There are lots of folks who are really interested in this and hiring. So thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you again to New Mercies for hosting. I'm going to first turn it over to the county commissioner from this area, Jasper Watkins, who can talk a bit about some of the county perspective on what's happening. And then we'll turn it over to Pastor Kearney, to provide an introduction, some welcoming remarks to the church, and then we will move down some of the folks who are directly involved in economic development, starting with you, Emery Horsberger, because I know you need to head out shortly. So without further ado, I am very pleased to introduce Jasper Watkins. He is the commissioner from this area and has really been doing a lot to reach out to the community and make sure he is hearing from everyone and hearing your needs and then carrying that to the county commission. Thank you for being here.